Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this bonus masterclass as a bonus to your human design blueprint, which is hyper personalized, customized, unique to you. I just wanted to include a bonus because I find it helpful in my journey, in my human design journey, to see someone that I know out there on the internet whose life I kind of follow and dive into their human design and just see how it manifests for them. And obviously, I have experience with my own human design. I've been familiar with human design for the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years, maybe, is the first time I was introduced to it. And it's been such a massive game changer for me. And it's really helped me hone in and up level my manifestation game. And I just want to show you how it's manifested for me and how I use it to manifest my dream life in the most aligned way. How do I live in alignment with my human design so that you can see it as an example for yourself and see that when you take action and when you implement the practical strategies that you see in your guide, like this is what's possible for you. This is how accurate it is, and this is what is to come out of it. So, I call it the discovery that simplified manifestation for me because it really did. So, human design highlights my strengths and helps me maximize those strengths. I think human design is one of the most empowering, let's call it a system. Yeah, most empowering systems that shows me where I'm designed to be successful with these strengths. And I believe, and human design would agree with me, that everyone is designed to be successful. Every single person is designed to be successful. You just need to know how you're designed to be successful. And if you follow that how, it becomes inevitable. When I say your success is inevitable, I mean it. I mean that when you signed a contract to incarnate, a spiritual contract, okay, to incarnate into this planet at this time, in that contract, there was success for you. In that contract, you said, this is how I want to succeed. This is how I want to be most fulfilled in my life, in my lifetime. And so you came here to uncover and to discover and to remember those things. That's part of your life journey and life path. But look at human design as the shortcut. It's like someone figured out how to hand your contract to you and you can actually look at it. And so here is my body graph. This is called a body graph in human design. You have one in your blueprint. So when I look at this, initially when I came into human design, I was so overwhelmed. Like, what in the frick is going on here? Like, what are these triangles and squares and diamonds? And what in the heck is happening here? What are these arrows? What are these numbers? And there's like black things and gray things. And what the heck is happening here? Right. But once you decode it and understand it, which you really don't need to do much work because it's done for you in your guidebook, but once you decode it, like it's showing you exactly who you were meant to be. And before coming into human design, before discovering it, I looked back at my life and those moments when like everything in my life was just in flow for me. It's like everything worked out for me. I had the Midas touch. Everything I touched turns to gold. When I look back, I was actually unconsciously following my design. And whenever in my life, when I look back where things were just not going my way, I felt like I was swimming. I was walking uphill, swimming upstream, like just gusts of 100-mile-per-hour winds were just blowing against me. And I just could not get my ish together. And I felt frustration and lack of motivation and just stress all the time. It was because I was unconsciously going against my design. So, how I see human design is like the shortcut, the code to having the Midas touch in life, where people are just going to look at you and be like, what are you doing? Things just seem to work out for you no matter what it is that you do. Like, how do you do it? I'm telling you, this is the secret. So, how to use this masterclass? I will be breaking down my own human design chart, which I already gave you a little sneak peek. And I'm going to share with you bits and pieces that have tremendously helped me create my dream life in the most aligned way. And then you're going to use this masterclass as a case study of how practical human design can be and how you can use your own blueprint guide in your day to day life, your relationships, your career, and your business. So, showing you how I use this in my day to day life, relationships, career, and business. And then I'm going to teach you just a couple, not too much to overwhelm you, but just a few manifestation specific hacks that are not in your guide, but I believe are super helpful to the manifestation process itself. So as a manifestation teacher, I feel like it's my duty to give to you these little hacks because it's only going to help you fine tune and hack and not work so hard in the manifestation process. So my type is a generator. And remember, type is how you use your energy best. So, as a generator, when I am lit up, like that's my life purpose as a generator. My purpose is to be lit up. And when I am lit up by something, by what I'm doing, what I'm committed to, by my goals, by my life, by my relationship, by my home, my environment, whatever it is, I am literally a magnet to everything in life. Things just happen for me in my favor when I'm only committed to those things that light me up. I have endless energy to do the things that light me up. A great example of this is when I decided that I was going to go all in on teaching people how to manifest. Manifestation has been that thing that's lit me up since the day I learned about it when I was 16 years old. And when I decided to create my first course of how to manifest, my Manifestation 101 masterclass, I think it was called Unleash Your Inner Manifestation Babe. This was like circa 2016. I had this download of like, this is the brand you're going to make. You need to build a website, you need to build a course and put it out there. And I already had an audience, not too big of an audience, but I did have an audience in my fitness business. And so my guidance was like, you're going to promote it to your fitness audience. And I'm like, okay. When I started working on building this course and creating Manifestation Babe, like, holy moly, I had endless energy for it. And this is what sustained me to create the almost 8-figure per year business that I have today. This is how I have so much energy to create it, is because it is something that's lighting me up. So in 2016, when I was building my website, when I was building my first course, I didn't leave my bedroom for a week. I'm not even joking. I was living with my parents at the time. They were so concerned about me. I did not eat. I barely used the bathroom. I didn't drink water. I didn't make my morning coffee. I didn't sleep. It was nuts. And it's like, that's the power of a generator. We truly have so much energy to give, but only when we are genuinely lit up by something. And I often see generators who are prone to burnout and, look at their type like, I don't know, I don't think I'm a generator. I'm always exhausted. Well, you might be exhausted because you're not living in accordance to being a generator. You're not actually committing your energy to the things that light you up. Um, when I check into what lights me up, I think this is a hack that everyone can use, no matter what your type is. Obviously, I'm not teaching you anything in this masterclass. I'm just showing you what I am and how it's worked out in my life. And your blueprint guide is literally teaching you about your type. You're not going to learn everything about human design here. But I think for every single type, for every single person, look into the outcome. The outcome first is your number one priority, and the process comes second. So when I look to what I am creating, what I'm committed to, what I'm doing, does it feel good to have done? That's like a question that everyone can ask themselves. And then you can use your specific human design determinants to uncover like what is the specific terminology that relates to you and your type in terms of the answer. So does it feel good to have done? Does it feel satisfying to have done? That's specific to a generator. And if yes, then whatever it is, like I'm going to go through it. So for example, and then the second thing is the process. So if so, how can I make it the most enjoyable to do? So, for example, does it feel good to have done a workout today for me? Yes, I get a resounding yes. That feels good to have done. That's something that lights me up. That feeling after you leave a workout class, like you did it, it's over with. You can go home now. You've done it for the rest of the day. Your body feels good. You feel energized. Like, F yeah. And so, even if I don't feel like going, I know it's aligned for me to go because I'm prioritizing the outcome first and process second. But then it's like, okay, what kind of workout feels most lit up to me? What type of workout lights me up most? And that's where I go, oh, it's Pilates. It's a Pilates group class, or it's a weightlifting group class, or group classes is like my jam. I've done plenty of private classes. I've done plenty of working out on my own, but like it's got to be a group class. So that's where I tap in and I ask myself, does this light me up? And the moment I feel drained, I know it's no longer energetically correct for me. So the moment it doesn't feel good to have done and I experience a loss of energy in even thinking about it, it's not energetically correct for me. And so there's not even a point to going through the process and making the process more enjoyable because the outcome itself is not in alignment with me. And so the moment that I feel drained, I am out because if I'm not, I will suffer. And here's what's nuts. Generators are generators of energy. We are here to generate energy for all the types. And so when we are not using our energy wisely, we actually take energy away from other people, which is not great at all, right? So not only do generators suffer, or if you're a manifesting generator, you can also relate to this. It's very similar. Then the whole world will also suffer. So this is why it's not just like fun and games and like, oh yeah, let me use human design to benefit me. No, we all benefit from people living in their design, because if you're living against your design, it's like then the rest of us are going to live against our design because you're not helping me prioritize what's important to me, because you're not like, as a generator, we're generating energy. So there's no energy to be had for other types. And that's a big, big problem. Signature. My signature, which you'll learn in your guide, is basically like, how do you know that you are in alignment? And so I will feel satisfaction. And I know that when I invest my energy into something, while doing it or having done it, I feel deeply satisfied. I feel lit up by what I'm doing. I feel magnetic. I feel turned on. I feel fulfilled, inspired, motivated, and energized. Like, that's how I know that I've committed my energy to the correct things. And if I don't feel that way, guess what? It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It just means like, hey, we need to fine tune something. What specifically didn't feel satisfying? And can we delegate it? Can we take it off your plate? Can we shift some things around? Can we make it so that it is something that's satisfying? If it is something that needs to be done and feels good to have done, but maybe the process doesn't feel satisfying. And if not, like, how can we just get rid of it altogether? Now, not self is, how do I know that I'm not doing something or living in alignment with my human design? As a generator, I will feel frustration. So when I give my energy to that which isn't energetically correct for me, I feel stuck. I feel uninspired. I feel perpetually exhausted. I feel drained and I feel unmotivated. If you're a generator like me or a manifesting generator and you constantly feel uninspired, perpetually exhausted, drained, unmotivated, emotions like that, that all go under the umbrella of frustration, then there's something off. There's something wrong, right? You know that you've committed yourself to an outcome or a process that just isn't energetically correct for you. Now, there was something else I wanted to say as frustration kicked up. Oh, yes, this. A lot of people, and as a generator myself, sometimes I don't know if I'm actually burnt out because I'm not living in accordance to my type, or I'm just tired. Like I need rest, and all types need rest, and even generators need rest at some point. So what I like to do is I like to give myself a break and take a vacation. And this is a hack for you to use as well. And if after your break or vacation, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, you actually take a vacation where you go somewhere abroad, you take like a moment to just be away from the thing that's causing the lack of inspiration or exhaustion or whatever, right? If you don't feel any more energized after the vacation and you come home and you still feel drained, it's because there are ways that you're giving your energy away in your career, in your relationship, at home, in your friendships, in your business, with your clients, with yourself, whatever it is, that's actually the problem. You're not actually burned out. Okay. This is a big thing that's helped me a lot. So, strategy, how I create opportunities for myself. So, I really love being a generator because waiting to respond sounds so disempowering, right? Like the first time I learned about human design, it was from one of my clients. We were having dinner and she was talking about, how she discovered human design and how her son is a manifester by human design and it's like the best type you can be and he's going to be successful no matter what, and like everyone else kind of like the way she described all the other types, like a generator, just sounded so just uninspiring. Like I remember being like, this is stupid, right? I hated human design at first because I'm like, this is so dumb. What do you mean just, you know, um, I think manifestors make up what, 5 to 10% of the population? I was like, this is so stupid. This is saying that only 5 to 10% of the population is designed to succeed and everyone else is kind of like a cog in the machine, and you just kind of sit and wait around while the manifestors make things happen. Like, no, it's not like that. Thank God I gave it another chance. Wait to respond is actually so empowering for me because I just like, I just sit back and the universe constantly presents me options on a silver platter. The universe is constantly giving to me. I'm like the magnet, and the universe is constantly giving to me people, ideas, and opportunities that I am here to respond to. And all I have to do is respond. So it's like do you know those like conveyor belt sushi restaurants where you have all this all these different types of rolls coming around the conveyor belt, and or they're like on boats, in like a little a little river going around the sushi bar, whatever, whatever it is. And you just kind of look around and you're like, "Ooh, I want this. No, I don't want that. Ooh, yes to this. Nah, not that." And you're just kind of like the sushi bar is just bringing to you all these rolls and you're just responding to them. Like that's the life of a generator. Yes or no questions is how I guide every single decision. And if you're a generator and you're asked an open-ended question, you can often feel stupid. And this is something I've had to learn where when people come to me and they're like, Catherine, what is the solution here? Or Catherine, what do you think? Oftentimes I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not designed to respond in that way. I'm designed for you to bring to me options. And I'll tell you, like, I have such a strong knack for telling you which option is correct. I have such a strong intuition. You bring me two solutions to a problem, I'll tell you which one will work. I know it with 100% accuracy. It's like insane. My team will be spitting out ideas, and I can already tell them this one is going to backfire. And sometimes I let my team make their own mistakes and they'll implement the thing that will then backfire. And then they'll learn and be like, okay, like it's empowering for them to also learn. I'm not the type of boss that micromanages. I'm not the type of the boss that tells everyone what to do. I really encourage people to learn from their own mistakes in my business, even if it does at some points, hurt my business. I know that ultimately no one can bring my business down but me. Anyway, that's a whole side thing, right? I just have a gift for knowing if something's a yes or something's a no. And the moment I go out of my way to pursue something or someone or initiate on a thought or idea or force something to happen, it automatically fails. And I shared this story in the podcast that I did with Erin, which if you're not familiar with, if you go to the Manifestation Babe podcast, there's an episode I did with Erin on human design where we promoted the human design blueprint, which maybe that's where you came from. If so, you'll remember my funny story about how I was sitting at a mastermind in 2018 and I was telling everyone how my biggest problem is that I don't know how to initiate conversations or invitations to be guests on people's podcasts. Those people typically come to me. It's like they come into my DMs and I go on their podcast and they're like looking at me like, how is this a problem, right? What do you mean? What do you mean? I wish I had this problem, right? Like they just come to you. Like you don't even have to go out of your way to go to them. Like people just invite you to their podcast and you go on their podcast and it's the people that you were going to initiate on in the first place, but you just didn't. You just waited for them to come to you. Like, what do you mean that's not a problem? And that was the moment where I learned, like, oh my God, that's me following my human design. And the more I follow my strategy, the more satisfied I am, the more magnetic I am, and the more aligned opportunities will be pulled my way, and the more I'm going to have to respond to. So it's like a sushi conveyor belt that the more you only take what you like, the sushi chef notices what you like and just gives you more and more of what you like. So if you're not a fan of octopus, you're not a fan of uni, which is sea urchin. So speaking from experience here, not a fan of those, but you love the tuna rolls, you love the avocado rolls, you love the yellowtail rolls, all of a sudden, the more that you pick up only the rolls that you like, that you're responding to, the more the sushi chef is like, oh, okay, I'm noticing that she likes tuna, yellowtail, avocado. She likes shrimp. She likes what else do I like? I like a lot. For some reason, it's not coming to me right now, but it's like, oh, let me make some special combos for her that include all of those. And it's like the better and better and better the opportunities get. And manifestation also, the process of manifestation is about responding to just one thing at a time and not seeing the whole path in front of me, knowing that as I respond to one thing, the next thing will come and the next thing will come and the next thing will come, which has inspired a lot of trust in me. Now, authority is sacral. So I'm here to follow my gut intuition. This is how I best make decisions. So when I tune into making a decision, like when the universe gives me something to respond to and I'm ready to make a decision on it, I ask myself, do I feel more energy in my gut or do I feel less energy in my gut? And if I don't have a full body yes, which not every sacral feels it in the gut, I will say, just depends on like what's highlighted for you in your sacral center. But for the most part, you're going to feel it somewhere in your body, somewhere around there. It's like tune into full body F yes or full body F no. But also, if you're not getting a full body F yes, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a no forever. It could also just mean like it's a no right now. It's a maybe for now, or no, don't go with maybes. Maybes are where I suffer. I've suffered so much over maybes where I just sit on maybes for so long and I drag things out and then I hurt people because I don't give them a response for a really, really long time. And they're like, hello, hello, hello. So I've learned to say no right away. So don't take that advice. It's either a yes, it's a no, or it's a no, not right now, which means come back to me later. I'm not going to give you a maybe. I'm just telling you, like, ask me again in a week or ask me again in a month, and then I'll tell you yes or no, because by then I could have a different answer. Okay, this is where I want to kind of teach you something. So there's something called a specific manifestor and a non-specific manifestor, which shares with you how dialed in do you need to be with your manifestation. So as you can see my charts over here, and I have an arrow. We all have this. So if you go to your chart in the beginning of your human design blueprint, the bottom right arrow that I circled, that I put an arrow in a circle so it's easy to find, notice how mine points to the right. If yours points to the right, you are a non-specific manifestor like me. If yours points to the left, you are a specific manifestor, which means a non-specific manifestor is someone who's meant to tune into how they want to feel in the manifestation of something rather than the details, the visual details of how that manifestation looks. So it's kind of like two pathways using two different entry points. It's the same pathway using two different entry points. So it's all about clarity on what you want. A non-specific manifestor is meant to gain clarity through feelings. So feelings lead you to details. And with a specific manifestor, details lead you to feelings. So you'll know how it feels based on how it looks. A non-specific manifestor doesn't know how it looks, but they definitely know how it feels. And as they tune into how it feels, how it is supposed to look or how it's going to look, comes and unfolds. So a specific manifestor, the more detailed and specific that you are with your desires, the more likely you are to get it, because you are meant to get exactly what you want. It's the difference between putting an intention or something on your vision board where it's a house that inspires like a certain feeling. Like, for example, the homes I put on my vision boards, they're very much a feeling. Like, they don't have to look like that, but this picture is evoking a feeling of groundedness. It's evoking a feeling of zen. It's evoking a feeling of just of brightness. It's light. It's this, it's that. And I have a couple details, but my mantra as a non-specific manifestor is this or something better. And actually it is for everyone, but specifically for a non-specific manifestor, what helps them calm down with not being overly specific to the point of stress is this or something better. Whereas a specific manifestor on your vision board, you're going to take the exact freaking house that you want, the exact car, like know your color, know how many doors, know every detail of that car, know every single detail of your business or what you want it to look like or how much money you want, like get to the penny of how much you want to manifest. That's going to help you actually manifest it because you're meant to get exactly what it is that you want. For a non-specific manifestor, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, universe, higher self, fills in the details for us. So we get help with manifesting the thing that will give us the feeling that we desire. So all we need to do is get clear on the feeling of what our manifestation is, and the universe will fill in all the gaps for us. And as a non-specific manifestor, we get to be surprised by how good it gets to be without worrying about all the little details. So truly, the life that I live today is so beyond my imagination, and it's meant to be that way. For a specific manifestor, the life that you're living today, like your dream life, should look exactly how you desired it, because that's how you're meant to get it, is exactly how it is that you want it. Now, another thing is active versus passive manifestor. Now, this is in the arrows again, but this time bottom left. If you have your bottom left arrow pointing to the left, you are an active manifestor. If it's pointing to the right, which is the opposite of me, you are a passive manifestor. Now, what does that mean? So, this means how involved you are in the manifestation process. As an active manifestor, I love to get involved into the whole manifestation process. I love to get into it. Like, I love mental rehearsal. I love visualization. I love rituals, journaling prompts. All of this is so fun and exciting for me. I love to track my manifestations. I love to watch them unfold in front of me. But a passive manifestor can get really, really in their way by meshing and meddling too much into the manifestation process. So, as a passive manifestor, you're someone who needs to set it and forget it. And the more you focus on your manifestations, actually, the more you're going to get into your own way. But for an active manifestor like me, the more you focus on your manifestations, like the more you tune into them, the more you kind of obsess over them, not in a desperate way or in a lack way, like, oh my God, I don't know where it is. It's not here yet. No, like, oh my God, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's so exciting. It gets to look like this. Yes, 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 yes. Like, you really thrive with doing the journaling prompts and the affirmations, and all the little rituals like are really exciting to you. The more you get into it, the more you amplify your manifestations. As a passive manifestor, the more you get into it, typically the more you mesh and meddle with the energy, and the more you interrupt the universe from helping you manifest your desires. So let's talk a little bit about profile. So I'm a 2-4 profile, which I'd like to split it up by just sharing the lines. So I don't know if this is mentioned in your blueprint guide, but the first number of your profile is what you're consciously aware of. And the second number of your profile is what you're unconsciously aware of. So you tend to resonate a little bit more with your first number than you do your second one. And your second one is how others tend to see you because it's unconscious. It's what we project into the world. And so when someone's looking at you, they might see you as your, like me as a 4 line, whereas I'm like, no, I'm totally a 2 line. What are you talking about? But altogether, I'm a 2-4 profile. So line 2 is also known as the naturally gifted hermit. So this is the kind of person, this is me, who loves her alone time. Okay? Loves her alone time. And I really need to honor the ebbs and flows of my cycles. I have cycles where I just need to be in my own space. I'm a very independent solo processor. I like to be in my own little world when I'm learning something, when I'm creating something. Like, as I've been creating a lot in my business over the last 30 days or so, like I've just not spent as much time on social media because I've been living my 2 line. When I took a 4-month sabbatical this summer from my business, I was in my 2 line, right? But at the same time, when I'm teaching, so now that I'm recording my this masterclass, or I was recording another masterclass that another program that I just recently finished, Vision Board Alchemy. I'm very much in my 4 line because I'm like, hey, here's what I processed as a hermit, and now I'm here to share it with the world. So 2 line is also known as like the naturally gifted person. So I've learned to accept that sometimes I just can't explain how I do what I do or how I know what I know. But it's through other people asking me questions that I'm able to define more details. So this is why I love Q&As. First of all, generators love Q&As. Mini gens love Q&As. I love Q&As also in terms of my 2 line, because sometimes I just don't know how I know what I know. But if you ask me about it, it forces me to put the pieces together and then um, put it all together in a program, or put it all together in a podcast, or put it all together in a masterclass. As a 2 line, if you're a 2 line, it could be very helpful to ask others what gifts they see in you, because it's helped me hone in on them even more. Typically, 2 lines can't see their own gifts. So just asking others, like, hey, can you just point out what I'm good at? It would be so helpful to me. And it's amazing what people can see in you, like what comes easily to you and naturally to you. And speaking of which, what comes easily and naturally to you is part of your purpose. So a lot of people think that there's no way I could be making money with this because it comes too easily to me. Like, it should be a lot harder. No, if you have a 2 line, you get to be a success just by being authentically you. And you don't need to make anything more complicated or complex than it needs to be. Now, on the other hand, the line 4 is the powerful networker and connector. So I was recently called the connector in my mastermind. And when I first heard about networker as a line 4, I was like, there's no way that that's me. Like, I'm not the type of person to go and network. Like, I don't want to go to a networking party. Hell no, right? I don't want to go vibe with strangers. That's just not, I'm too much of a hermit to do that. I'm too much of an introvert to do that. There's no way. And what the 4 line is referring to actually is that you're a powerful networker when you realize that your entire network is already in your vicinity. So you're meant to be connecting with the people who are closest to you, and your sources of success come through the people who are in your close knit circle, or people who you just naturally connect with. And the more you force yourself to connect with people that you just don't feel connected with and do business with them, the less likely you are to succeed. Um, For me, a smaller circle that I trust is better for me than to manage many more distant relationships. I'm so bad at just following up with people and responding to text messages sometimes, and it just feels so exhausting for me to maintain so many relationships. For me, like, give me 10 close friends and that's it. Like, we can rule the world. like I'm excited about my close-knit circle more than I am having these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of connections. Now, at the same time, line fours are powerful community builders, and obviously I have a quite a large following on Instagram of what, over 420,000 followers. And like, what I just said could be a paradox to that, where it's like, for me, I just need my close knit circle, but at the same time, I'm really good at building a community, and I can build a large community by being very in tune with my community. And that has a lot to do with the line four. Now, I want to go into more specifically the undefined centers, because this is where your biggest lessons are. And I've learned a lot of lessons and gained a lot of wisdom through my open ego center, through my open emotional center, and through my undefined head center. Now, undefined versus open, it's basically the same thing, but open just means that you have no gates activated in them. Actually, yeah, undefined. I said undefined head. Yeah. So I have an undefined head center. So anywhere you see the blank, kind of the non-colored centers, because these are all centers, is undefined. And if you have nothing highlighted in there, it's completely open. So, how I get inspired, this is a really cool hack that I had to learn. So, I am designed to receive inspiration from the people and the world around me. And I really struggle to get inspired sitting by myself in my room for a very long time. At some point, the moment I get out of my house, I get so many ideas. And this is why traveling the world for me has been such a success builder, because I am constantly generating so many ideas. I'm receiving so many ideas from the literal world, the whole globe around me, that I then bring into my life, into my work, into my lessons, into my metaphors, into all the things that I share. Um, I've learned also, this is a big thing for me, that it's very easy for me, because where we are undefined or open is where we receive energy, and where we're defined is where we give energy. So, big energy receivers here. I have found that it's easy for me to get inspired by the inspiration of others and often think that I want what they want. And so, what I had to learn is that I have to step away from people sometimes when they get me really excited about an idea or project. I tend to take on their excitement. And then I go home or sleep on an idea a couple days, and I'm like, this doesn't excite me at all. Like, I don't get it, right? But as long as I'm with them, I can oftentimes take on their energy, take on their excitement and inspiration, and then go and commit to a project that doesn't actually inspire me, right? It's only their inspiration that I'm channeling. And then when I'm without that person or just on my own, or as time goes on, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? This is draining to me. I don't like this at all. And so I've learned through the undefined head center that if I just give myself some space and I just take a break and I just give myself like a moment to chill, to step away from that person's excitement and really tune into, is this me? Like, is this something that I genuinely want? Then I'm able to get a clear cut answer. Because sometimes, yes, maybe I was meant to get inspired by that person because they held the answers to a question that I had, right? They held a code to something that I needed to crack for myself to go to the next level. And just giving it time and just really stepping away and just being like, is this mine? And be like, yeah, it is mine. I actually really like that idea and I'm going to go all in on it, versus me realizing like, wait a second, I'm not actually into this. Like, I don't actually want this handbag, or I don't actually want to dress like this. It's just that the person that I've been with, they were so excited about this handbag or dressing like this the whole week that I got inspired from them. Now, open emotional center. So, this is the empath. This is the ultra, ultra empath. And what I've had to learn from having this open center is constantly ask myself, is this emotion mine? And not make decisions based on other people's emotions. So not only can I tune into people's inspiration, I also tune into people's emotions. And what I've learned is that being an undefined or open emotional center, your natural state is meant to be very neutral with strong boundaries. And if I feel an emotion that has no cause, like meaning nothing happened in my life to spark that feeling, and I feel that feeling, or I just feel a feeling that feels unidentified or is just floating and it's coming from nowhere and there's no reason for me to feel this way, I know that that is not my emotion. And if it does have a cause, on the other hand, I can easily fix the cause and then the emotion processes. So I also, where you are open or undefined is where you hold a lot of wisdom. So I was able to use this gift of me honing in on, processing emotions to help others regulate their emotions in my programs, because I had to do a lot of learning about regulating my own emotions or just simply removing other people's energies from myself. And also, this type of person who has an undefined or open emotional center, they tend to avoid uncomfortable emotional situations. And I've learned to instead face them head on, because the longer we avoid them, the more they persevere. And the more they persevere, the worse we feel. So, not a good combination. Now, the open ego center is the ego center in general is how you value yourself, right? So I really had to learn about innate worthiness, and learning about innate worthiness, the fact that worthiness doesn't even exist in the spiritual realm. Like the fact that you would never, like, if you have children, you can definitely relate to this. Like when I look at my son, there's no question that he's worthy. There's no conversation, there's no discussion, there's no thought in my mind that says anything about, I don't know, is Orion worthy of having food today? Like, is Orion worthy of my love today? Is he worthy of getting dressed today? Is he worthy of playing with this toy? No, I want to give him the world. I don't see him as worthy because I don't see him as unworthy. He doesn't exist in my mind. It's like asking a fish for water in the ocean. It's like, what water? There's no such thing as water. What are you talking about? It's because a fish is in water. You're so saturated and so just swimming in worthiness that it's not even something that is labeled or to be seen. It's so innate and part of you. There's no deity in the sky that's stamping people worthy or unworthy, worthy or unworthy. Like we are a child of this energy. And so we're innately worthy. And it just completely transformed the way I approach my business. I don't hustle anymore. I give myself a ton of breaks. I don't rush through things. I just know that there's nothing for me to prove. And people with undefined or open ego centers tend to have a childhood where they feel like they have a lot to prove. They tend to have parents that are constantly disapproving of them, and they're constantly trying to get their parents to approve of them. And so this is a lifelong lesson for me, right? um there's a constant drive to like do this one more thing that will make me worthy, or one more thing that will take me to the next level, or let me pursue one more certification before I'm ready. Like this is the crux of the open or undefined ego center. Um, and here's a hack that I also learned with the ego center is that anything I feel unmotivated to do, I can borrow it from someone, meaning that when I feel unmotivated to work out, I often will go to a group workout class because someone in there has a defined ego center and I can borrow their energy for the workout class, do my workout and leave, right? And then go home. I don't have to find the willpower within myself. I don't have to motivate myself because it's just not something that naturally comes to me. But I can go and borrow someone else's willpower where, in a room, like someone's going to have a defined ego center in that room. And typically, like Tony Robbins is someone with a defined ego center. These people are incredibly motivational. They're really good at firing you up, right? And hopefully they're empowering you with the right tools to take home with you, because when the motivation wears off, like you gotta commit to certain tools or have certain tools to help you tap into that motivation when that person's not there. Now, some defined centers that I'm going to quickly go through, which is where my energy is most reliable. So, this is where you give energy to the world. So, my defined mind is designed to uplift and empower others with my perspective. So, I am the research queen and I have a lot of research that I do all the time. And I love to share it with other people and uplift them in the process, which, hello, that's me and my business, right? I'm sharing manifestation perspectives with the world in a very uplifting and empowering way. Now, my throat, defined throat, designed to have a strong, powerful voice. So, speaking authentically is key for me and using the voice that is genuine to me. If I try to talk like someone else, I instantly, like, it falls on deaf ears. It has to sound like Catherine Zinkina, which is a very unique voice. I like to curse. I use filler words. I don't really polish my speaking because it's just not who I am authentically. Identity. So, designed to feel authentically expressed in my work and life. And the more myself I am, the more successful I am. So, authenticity is a massive, massive theme for me. And this is a gift that I share with the world. I really help people build a dream life that is authentic to them. Now, the sacral center, this has to do with being a sacral generator, of course. So, of course, it's going to be defined. I'm designed to prioritize my excitement and joy. Hello, generator life. Spleen is also the center of intuition and instinct. So, I'm designed to have a strong and reliable intuition. The key is to get quiet enough to hear it. And isn't that the lesson for us all? Like, mind is never the authority, never, never, never the authority, right? So I need to use my gut, my strong and reliable intuition in my gut to make decisions. And if there's too much monkey chatter in my mind and I'm using my mind to make decisions, it's never going to lead me in the right direction. Now, the last one is root, which I am designed to be calm even in the midst of chaos. And I will say that this is a very useful gift for me. For whatever reason, the world can be burning, and people are just like, Catherine, you're so calm, you're so zen. And sometimes it comes across like I don't care, when actually I care a lot. It's just that I've learned through my open emotional center of like, okay, let's regulate our emotions, let's process these emotions, let's determine what is mine, what isn't mine. I do my work and I choose to remain calm because I feel like I am that sage for so many people where if I'm fucking chaotic, we're screwed. You know what I mean? If everyone's chaotic and I'm chaotic too, not a good mix at all. Okay, so I have the collaborative definition, which is kind of funny because I'm a Libra sun, I'm a Libra rising, and I'm a Libra Jupiter, all in my first house. So I'm very Libra. That's why I used a Libra image here. And I am designed to be in partnership with others, which is so Libra, which shows you like the awesome correlation between astrology and human design, right? So, partnership is everything to me. And as much as I am super independent, this has helped me so much to seek out support and help in partners and other people to help me be more of myself and learn more about myself and just give me the space to feel wholeness in their energy, not wholeness as in I need you or else, but as in like thank you for being my sounding board. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for sharing these ideas with me. I find so many answers, so much clarity when I'm just with other people. Very often I feel so scattered, so alone, so distressed, so depressed, so like the whole world is burning down. And then my friend comes over or I get on the phone with a friend or even I just text someone that I connect with and it's like boom. All of a sudden, I'm processing things differently. It just feels like a more complete circuit for me. I feel very deeply satisfied in connection with others. I also naturally attract people who have skills that I lack. So my team is filled with geniuses who do what I can't do. And if I were to ignore this side of me, this collaborative definition that I have in my chart, and think that I need to do it all on my own, I would not have the success that I have today. So I know that I naturally attract people who have skills that I lack. And I often see the people around me as way smarter than I am. Like, I'm like, damn, you are way more creative, way more smart, way more powerful than I am. And it's not like it's true. I have my own gifts and they see me in the same way of like, wow, Catherine, you're a genius, you're this, you're that, right? And it's just that we all have skills that the other lacks. And as we come together, it just creates a massive powerhouse. And I just generally feel a sense of wholeness when I have the right people in my life. So as much as I want to be a hermit in my line too, this also helps me go out there in the world and just be in the energy of other people with my line 4. And this collaborative, or also known traditionally in the traditional language as split definition, which I love Erin so much with her terminology, because sometimes the terminology that is used in traditional human design language, it's like, don't even go look it up. Like, what split definition? Like, no, we're not split, right? It means collaborative definition. So I love it. Okay, let's talk about some channels. So, channels are a really powerful source of gifts. And I just want to share a couple of my channels. Actually, I'm going to share all my channels because I only have 5, and just how they manifest for me. So, in here, I have the arrow highlighting the 4323 channel. So, this is a genius to freak channel that when I learned about this channel, you guys, peace came into my life. I didn't feel as much of a freak as I used to. So, genius to freak channel means that my ideas are typically outside the norm and light years ahead of the world around me. And initially, my ideas make me out to look like a freak and then a genius. My whole childhood, whenever I would share ideas with people, they would look at me like I just said the dumbest thing in the world. And for most of my life, I thought all my ideas were stupid. I'm not even joking. This is a real thing for me. And then I found this pattern in my life, and especially when I learned about this through human design, where I was like, oh my God, okay, I see it now. So I would share an idea, people would look at me like I'm stupid, and a year or two goes by, and someone else shares the idea, and all of a sudden everyone thinks that person's really smart, and that idea comes into form, and it's like the best idea ever, even though I had that idea 2 years prior, right? So, an example in my life, which turned out very well for me, let me tell you, is I was the first of my friends and community to dive into the world of manifestation. The law of attraction, the manifestation community was like on the fringe when I was into it, and especially when I started, especially when I got into it, but also still was when I started Manifestation Babe. And my friends used to look at me like I was insane. My family's like, you are just bullshitting. Like, what are you talking about? Life doesn't work that way, right? And Manifestation Babe was very early to the manifestation space, but now it's like every day I hear about manifestation on TV or in movies, or rappers are singing about manifestation, or it's mentioned in random articles or books or in the online space. You hear it, it's like a trending topic, right? So, the key with utilizing this gift and channel is to know that most of my ideas will be crazy at first. And I need to learn to wait for the right moment when I'm invited to share my ideas to share them. Because when I'm invited to share my ideas, it's typically because people are unconsciously knowing that they're ready to hear my ideas. And when I share them in the right moment, people are actually ready to hear it. And if I just share them out loud, nonstop, the way that they come through years in advance, like, people are not going to be ready to hear it. And it just doesn't work my way. Now, the 2010 channel is the channel of integrity. So, obviously, integrity is my number one value in my business. And integrity, what it means to me is to be committed to being in alignment with what matters most to me at all times. So, following my human design and being in integrity with my human design is a key here. Also, just the way that this channel is connected, I'm here to be a lighthouse to others simply by being myself. I really am here to encourage others to embrace their uniqueness and authenticity. That's part of my life purpose, which really shows up in Manifestation Babe. And then self love and acceptance is a major theme in my teaching. So when I teach that what's desired by you is destined for you, this is really the channel that it comes from. Now, the channel of leadership, which is right there, 31-7. This is a very interesting one because, yes, I'm here to be a leader, but I'm also here to be a reluctant leader, which is weird. Okay. Let me explain it to you. The more I seek out to be a leader, the more I'm like, I'm the leader, listen to me, everyone do what I say, the less of a leader I am and nobody listens to me. And the more I'm just like, la, 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 I'm just going to be me, I'm just doing my thing, the more people see me as a leader. It's like, I'm not here to say I'm a leader. I'm just here to be a leader. And this, so basically, what I do is I just show how things can be done. I'm just a leader through example. I live my life, I do my thing. I don't pressure anyone to follow me. And as a result, people follow me. So if you've ever been in any of my other programs, you'll know that I never tell you what to do. I just empower you. I give you the options. I tell you what I have seen to work. And if you want to follow what works, go for it. And if you don't, go for it. You have full permission to do whatever it is that you want. And obviously, one is going to, create good results in your life and one maybe not so good, but that's your choice. And I really empower people. I don't tell people what to do, I just empower them to make good choices. Um, Another thing is I like to give people options and say, like, there's many different ways to manifest your dream life. Like, let's find the one that is most in alignment for you. So there comes that other channel that we just talked about previously, where alignment with authenticity is key. Now, this channel, the channel of ambition, is so true to my life. I'm very driven to create, to work, and succeed. It's very, very high in my life. But this is also something that makes me prone to burnout. So I can be prone to working extremely hard to prove my value, which of course bleeds into this as well, right? So asking for support has been my biggest lesson. And my team is like my favorite part of my business now. Like, I love, love, love my team. And with this channel, also, I have the gift of sensing the gift in other people. And I can really help other people reach their potential because I just see their potential. I just know what's going to work for you and what isn't. It's like one of my gifts. You present to me the options, remember, like as a generator, give me something to respond to. Don't ask me open-ended questions. Just be like, hey, should I do this or should I do this? Like, I typically can be like, oh no, it's definitely this. Or, you know what? Like, let's switch this around. I feel like it's out of alignment for you. And maybe the better language is like, I have a gift of seeing what's in alignment for you based on the energetics that I can feel from you, rather than me being like, no, this is going to work, this is not going to work. Because, of course, I could see that for you, but if it doesn't feel in alignment with you, it's still not going to work. Does that make sense? So, let me think of what else. Fear of failure, coming from this gate. This is a big, this center just has a lot to do with fears also. So, fear of failure is a big theme in this channel, something that I transmute in my work all the time, like reminding myself that there's no such thing as failure, only failure, or it's only a way that didn't work, right? There's no such thing as failure. There's only a way that something didn't work. And the key is just to find the way that will work, right? So eventually, all your failures will lead you to success if you just don't give up or don't quit. But it was a big theme for me. I had a lot of fear of failure that I have overcome. And even to this day, things will come up. And I just have to remind myself, like, Catherine, it's impossible for you to fail. It truly is impossible. And then the last one is the channel of resolution, which is basically has to do with cycles and how cycles are a big theme in my life. And I'm really here to learn lessons in life and then share those lessons with others. So gaining perspectives and experiences after I go through a cycle. At the end of the cycle, I'm here to teach what I learned. And that's basically my whole business. Like, I go through something and I know at this point the universe gives me things to go through just so I can teach on them and just so I can refresh my teachings on them. It happens all the time when I build new courses. So this is definitely coming from this channel. This channel has a lot to do with immersion. Like, immersion is one of my favorite ways to learn things, immersing myself into travel, because it's way more fun for me to go and immerse myself into a culture than just to hear about it, or like go to an Italian restaurant in Las Vegas. Like, I'd much rather go to Italy, right? So that's been a big theme for me. Finishing things is a big lesson for me, and really tuning into if I will have the energy to finish something by following my authority and strategy before I dive in. Because oftentimes I'm really good at starting things, but the key is to finish. And if I keep starting things that I'm starting without really checking into, like my strategy and my authority, and just go for it because of some temporary inspiration that I got from Bobby Joe over here who gave me the inspiration for something, I'm not going to finish it. And then it creates this discomfort in my body. Literally, I feel discomfort when I'm like, no, I need to finish that, but I don't want to finish it. And so it really encourages me to check in so many times before I start something of like, all right, do I have the energy? Do I have the desire? Am I actually lit up by finishing it? That's why outcome is so important to me. Does it feel good to have done it? Rather than just does it feel good to start it and does it feel good to do it, right? Another thing is I may be led to finishing things over and over and over again until I do. So program ideas always find me over and over and over again until I create them and complete them. And this is so true. I have programs that will literally stalk me by me having an idea to create something, and then my students will nonstop ask me like, hey, can you create a program around this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And it's like, oh my God, this thing is stalking me. And as soon as I complete it and finish it, of course, following my human design, my authority, and my strategy, it's like, oh, okay, I see why this wanted me to finish this. Like, I see it now. And that's it. So, in conclusion, how to bring these insights into your own human design experience. So, human design is meant to empower you. Really, like even the things like you saw the lessons I had to learn, like talk about the empowerment that comes from learning those lessons. Even the shadow things that you might find in your chart, or the weak spots that you might find in your chart, I just don't believe that they're weaknesses. I don't believe that they're shadows. I believe that everything is meant to empower you and to be utilized to create the best life that you could ever live. And lessons are just learned because they expand you and they grow you and they help you become who you're meant to become. So, really lean in on your gifts, lean in on your innate talents, lean in on how you were most meant to and designed to succeed in life. And the more you naturally lean into your design, the more flow that you will experience in life. And your human design blueprint guide will break down all of these most important aspects of your human design. And you'll see there's tons of suggestions, tons of questions to ask yourself. Don't just read them, like really put them into action and then watch how your life transforms. So, with that being said, thank you so much for being here with me. I hope this was a helpful breakdown of just seeing human design in action, and just seeing, like, if you've been following me for a while and you know some bits and pieces of my story, of my journey, of struggles that I've shared in the past, and how they show up in my human design, that it makes sense now and you can see it, because I definitely can see it, of course, because it is my chart, it is my life. But I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoy diving deeper into your blueprint, and please come back to this anytime. Come back to your blueprint anytime. It's such a valuable resource for you to get even more clarity on your design. And I know from experience that my blueprint is something I come back to like at least once every 3 to 6 months. And I have been since the day I got it a couple years ago. So, very valuable resource. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.